I've got two things. I've got some algae right here, okay, and then I've got some medium right here, which is what we're gonna grow the algae in. Now, this happened. I actually did this last year. I'm going to show you a short video of me and the boys growing algae together. Okay, but I found out about this through like a newsletter. And I was like, I don't know, it sounds kind of cool. And then they sent me all this equipment and like stuff to do this, and I'm really pumped about this. These little things are like, I was like, after I did this last year, I was like, ooh, I like these like for lots of reasons. Number one, they look sciencey cool. Okay. And then like I think I could do like lots of things with these, but these things are like incredibly, like I can't believe how expensive these are. Like hundreds of dollars for these little things. Like it's crazy. Like this, not one. Yeah, like I think I looked at one and like a set of 25 was like $500. Like it was crazy. Okay, so we're going to listen. We're going to use, guys. The quicker I get through this stuff, the faster we can watch some people. Okay, so we're going to be using. Remember yesterday, okay, we used a pipette to insert the DNA into, okay, the well. And some of you are really good at that. It was really fun or 2 days ago, it was fun to watch you kind of do that. It's an experiential thing. This is like why doing this online is cool. You know, we've got Explore Learning, but like actually inserting that DNA into that gel is not like you thought it would be. And some of you, as I looked around, like your gels were like real, like spaced out. You could see how it was like kind of like you got a little bit in the top, but it's more cloudy in the water, right? You didn't insert it into that well. So you did a better job of that. These pipettes are going to be used to actually suck up the stuff. So they gave me these, and you put this little pipette. I'm not going to do this right now. You put this into here, and then you're going to use this little guy to actually suck up, and then I can release that algae. These pipettes are really stinking cool. I love these. Okay, so the idea is that we don't think about algae and the importance of algae and maybe the future of algae very much. And so what we're going to do, and look, this is like one of my favorite snacks. I love algae, you know, like I love this seaweed snack, it's delicious. If you've ever had sushi, okay, yeah, it's good. Did you try this? You tried this one, you didn't like it. You didn't like that one? You tried it? Yeah. Oh yeah, it's just not your jam. That seaweed, I can get some.
Seaweed, bro. I ate some of it.
At the end of I think I have one pack of this. At the end of this, if you want to try some, I could divide this up. I could divide this. Sure. Okay, now listen. Okay, so what I want to do is real quickly, I want to kind of run through a little bit. This is, again, not going to take that crazy long. A little like background on algae. Okay, and then I'm going to show you a little video that I made with the boys last spring.
So my hair so mean. So mean.
I like the braids.
Isaac, what's the braid?
They were. Isaac with the braids interesting. Isaac with the braids is interesting. You just walked into SRT. I'm like, whoa, new hairstyle, man. Nice.
So again, I'm going to help you with this, but please stick with me on the background on this stuff. This is not a long presentation, but I want to talk about algae. So this was done by the Algae Academy. Okay, I can't take credit for this PowerPoint. They put this together. So the idea is like we're going to get to know what algae is and take a look at them underneath the microscope and grow our own algae. Okay, so the people that are kind of did this lesson are actual scientists. This guy's name's Jake Nally. He grows a lot of algae in Texas and New Mexico for plant-based food products. That's pretty cool. He believes that algae is the future. He has his PhD in environmental science, and he loves it because he could talk about deep sea creatures and then talk about exoplanets, which we'll get into that a lot later. His favorite algae is Desmond's. Okay, this is Jessie. She understands or tries. She works to understand how algae behaves in Hawaii and looks at maybe algae to help solve some of our climate change problems. Okay, she studied molecular biology, marine biology was her PhD, and she loves science because there's science questions everywhere. And her favorite are diatoms. So Jessie and I are in the same camp. I love me some diatoms. Okay, so yeah, right on. The mighty algae. Okay, so algae 101. Okay, phytoplankton. If we look at two words, yeah, you may know plankton, right, from SpongeBob, right? So phytoplankton, phyton means plant, planktos means wander. So these plants don't stay in one spot, like in a pot or like in the ground, that sort of stuff. They're aquatic, but they can be freshwater, but also marine. Okay, and that can include estuaries. Now, a lot of people in my fifth grade class were like, I know that term, but maybe didn't know what it meant. What is an estuary? Where can I find one? Not anywhere. I can find an estuary in an estuary. I like that. Okay, so I will give you a hint. I was supposed to be there about 2 weeks ago. Everglades. In the Everglades, there's an estuary. An estuary is where freshwater and saltwater meet. And so there's a lot of different kinds of life there. The Everglades is the only place in the world where you find saltwater crocs and freshwater alligators living side by side. It's a pretty cool place. Okay, algae are photoautotrophs. Photo, of course, meaning light. What does autotroph mean?
Oh, I heard that word.
Yeah, right here in this class.
Type of creature that can self-sustain.
Yeah, it's self-sustained because it makes its own food, right? Okay, they make their energy from the sun. Now, I need to ask the people that made this because you can't see them by the naked eye, kind of, but you really can if you use a microscope or if there's a lot of them. What's the name of this process? Remember this process? This is photosynthesis, right? Light's taking water and carbon dioxide and giving us oxygen and sugar. Okay, remember we had those light-dark reactions. Okay, the light reactions and the dark reactions, the Calvin cycle. Okay, this is algae, and you've seen this picture before if you took my class first semester. Do you remember that? And if we have time later, I'll show you that clip from Will Smith's show.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. It was called One Strange Rock, and it dealt with the guys out in the International Space Station, and they talked about how remember the water going into the trees, going up into the clouds, then the water hits the mountain, then the water rolls down, right, and then feeds those diatoms. Those diatoms die. They then become the salt water or the salty ground that those Africans were churning up, but then that dust fertilized. It was all diatoms. Remember this?
Yeah.
It still gives me chills to think about that. All of this is diatoms, and we can see that from the International Space Station. So technically we can see them with the naked eye. Here's the other thing. In that video, do you remember when Will Smith said, take a breath? Everybody take a breath right now. Okay, there you go. All right, nice. Okay, now take another breath. Another deep breath. The first breath, most of that came from trees. The second breath entirely from algae. Okay, that's pretty amazing to think about. That 50% of our breathing, the oxygen that we're breathing is coming from those. They're those primary producers now. Here was the other thing that like blew me away. This wasn't even freaking intentional. Okay, do you guys remember like my first semester people? Okay, and I remember some of you even finding this. Okay, we did like an online food web where you had to drag stuff around. What was the primary producer? Algae, right? Right. Remember the big blue whale was like that secondary consumer, right? Algae was the basis of that food web, and it really is a staple for a lot of those things. The planet's warming, oceans are warming, killing the algae. We're a little worried about that sort of stuff. Okay, so we're going to grow some, and there's a lot of diversity. Some are green, chlorophyta, think chlorophyll, sounds more like chlorophyll. I'm trying to learn something. This girl's over here trying to make out with me. What's that from? Anybody know?
Oh, the call with the one girl who you got
Nope, nice guess. It's from a movie.
Oh, come on.
Oh.
Chlorophyll sounds more like borophyll.
Oh,
I'm trying to learn over here. This
It
girl's
has,
trying to make out with me.
It has,
Waterboy.
the dude from.
Close, not Waterboy.
The dude from.
Billy Madison.
Billy Madison, yes, I have hope for the
I
future.
get the algae, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. All right, there's cyanobacteria, blue-green algae. You've all heard of this, I'm sure, before too, right? Okay, this idea that this algae is interesting because it can fix nitrogen. This is, of course, my favorite diatoms because they have that silicate shell. That's what creates that fertilizer. They're brownish, so we call those carotenoids. Also think of like carrots, kind of an orange color there. Okay, algae demands sun, water, nitrogen, phosphorus. Remember, nitrogen and phosphorus are nutrients. Okay, they also need some CO2, but what do they give us? They give us oxygen, right? Temperature affects it, sunlight affects it, pH. So if I'm too acidic, if I'm too basic, bad. We can also look inside the algae. There's a lot of different things going on here. We can find chlorophyll and carotenoids and phytocyanids. Okay, they're pretty cool. But what is a phycologist? Sorry, can't even talk, and that's ridiculous. I know Dr. Algae. Okay, but it's just a person that studies algae. Of course, you're all going to be phycologists. Phycologists this week. Okay, what do we use it for? We can make food, medicine, fuel, cosmetics, pollution cleanup, and even fertilizers can help. And this is the process, not that we're doing all of this stuff, but we can, which is really cool. Cultivate it, harvest it, process it, and make a product. Okay? Fuel, I think, is the big deal. Okay? Do you remember this guy? Remember this rock? What's this rock?
Cool.
Coal. Okay? This is how I'm generating this electricity, right? Okay, so right, how old is this rock?
Millions.
1 million years old, right? This rock is 1 million years old. Okay, guys, stick with me here. I'm taking this rock, I'm burning it, I'm boiling water, that steam creates a turbine, or turns a turbine, gives me life. What if I could use, instead of this rock, which is gonna run out, and this rock is really dirty, what if I could create fuel? A lot of people believe that algae is gonna be our next fuel source, okay? It's better than corn, we can grow it everywhere, it's pretty cool stuff. Okay, why can it be an energy source? Because there's so much oil. This is crazy. Much like bears that store fat, to hibernate, algae stores fats inside their cells. Those cells have lipids. That's one of our cho-cho-chon-chomps, right? Okay, so what are those lipids used for? Okay, we can use them for energy for us. Okay, they use them for energy. Look, this is insane to me. First time I saw this, I was like, what the? There's so much oil, so much fat that it just leaks out of the cells. It's like the algae's peeing. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, so here we go. So how do we get it? Look, this is amazing to me, especially in my 5th grade, there's a bunch of farmers in there. Look at all this stuff. U.S. crop production, okay? We can have more potential, okay? And I often hear people saying this. I hear this all the time. How are we gonna feed we have 7.8 billion people. How are we going to feed 9 billion people? How are we going to feed 10 billion people? How are we going to feed 12 billion people? Okay, we're going to need another food source. Algae could be a good source of that. Okay,
Why was there a picture of carrot?
it's corn. It's hard to see it. You have to look up close. It looks, they're cobs. They're corn on the cobs. It is hard to see. Someone else said that last week.
Corn.
Okay, right? Weird picture. All right. So why are they great? Okay, they grow fast. They can be used for a lot of things. They produce a lot of fuel. They also consume carbon dioxide and they grow everywhere. Okay. This week we're going to hopefully do this next week we're going to do a lot of things. So last year I ordered this stuff like way before the pandemic started. Okay, and so I was really excited about it, and it came in the mail. Well, actually, this lady Marissa was like, "Hey, do you still want to do it?" And I was like, "Absolutely." And she's like, "Yeah, hey, look."
Oh yeah.
Nice
The
price.
bucket hat.
Bucket hat, baby. All right, listen. Give me a few more minutes here, then we'll chill. Okay. Thanks for your attention.
Whoa,
Okay, so here's what's happening. So this is my house. Okay, and last spring, Okay, all this equipment came and I said, I still want to do this. So this became some of my biology e-learning assignments for the class. So I asked my boys to help me out. So I have two boys. Ira's 8, Linus is 6, and wait, where's he 7 now? He'll be 7. Sorry, I lose track. And so they helped me out. So they're going to be in this video. We're not going to watch this whole thing, but I'm going to kind of show you this is what we're going to start with on Monday. Okay, here we go.
Well, hey, how's it going? I am going to introduce you
I had
to
a
a
cold.
little thing that we were going to do in class, but we didn't do it. You gained weight. Oh, Lord, so how'd you gain weight?
Like, I was holding on to nature with all my friends.
Oh,
And I stopped.
okay, good to know. Well, we're
And
gonna,
when I didn't do that anymore, it was going so fast. I'm going to find out.
oh, really? I'm glad I'm doing this and not there. I don't want to deal with this. Good. Anyway,
The mixer is so fun to use.
okay, I'll try.
Someday.
Okay, so we're doing this thing with algae and the ground algae, and we're gonna look at the growth rate of algae and then talk about what that looks like over time. So I'm gonna piece together some videos and hopefully it makes sense.
Hi everyone, we are growing some algae.
That's Ira.
The
other one was
Algae Academy, thank you, Algae Academy. Put it into this little cup. I also have some medium growing in here, and this is in this little cup right here. And I have some 3 containers. Now, if we were hanging out.
Chandler!
We would divide up into groups. One group would get 1, 2, and 3, right? Okay, but we are doing this online right now. So what's going to happen here is they have provided us some amazing equipment. They have a pipette right
Which
here,
is
and this
very cool. I
pipette is
don't know
really
what
cool.
it is.
You can have this. And then we also have
I
a
like
little
it
measuring
too.
tool. This is called a Seki disc. We're going to look at how to measure.
Hold on, because you can't miss this joke. Hello? Yeah. Hold on, I've got him showing something. My class, should I not show my classes? You make me nervous. I'm looking at my email. Yeah, there's nothing there. Oh, yeah, I never read it. Tell her as a student. Well, seriously.
Not really. Colgate, Arkansas is gonna win in Florida.
Okay,
Florida, Arkansas.
where was I?
You should love it.
All right, here I am. Okay, so let me back it up because Ira was really proud of this joke.
Is they have provided us some amazing equipment. They have a pipette right
Which
here.
is
and
very
this
cool. I
pipette is
don't know
really
what
cool.
it is.
You can help me with this. And then we also have
I
a
like
little
it
measuring
too.
tool. This is called Seki disc. We're going to look at how to measure this material. Okay, and we're going to look at our 3 different groups here. I wrote this in my notebook here. We've got group number 1, 2, and 3. And I don't know if that's going to be backwards for you, but I hope it's not. You can make a joke, sure.
Hey, that Seki disc, it's sexy disc.
Oh my gosh, you're crazy.
He was so proud of that. He said, Dad, I said sexy disc. It's SECCHI. By the way, here's a quick, I'm gonna watch this couple, just give me like 2 more minutes and then you can watch the B-balls. This, by the way, side note, this little plant right here is a lemon tree. And literally, this girl, the Myers girl, Lillian Myers, so Margaret Myers' older sister, graduated like 2 years ago. So she got a lemon seed out of a lemon that she received in her iced tea at a restaurant, put it in soil, put it in a pot, and gave it to me. When she gave it to me, it was like this big. Now it's like this big.
That's great.
I know, right? Yeah. It's really been fun.
Chandler's here.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Ready?
All right.
Sir, Chandler.
First
And
one.
Lexi did.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is each container is gonna get a different amount. This one is gonna get 50%, or sorry, 50 milliliters medium and 15 milliliters algae. Okay, so I'm gonna pour this into this container right here. Okay, so for 15 milliliters container,
You know they can't see your face, right?
right? And so I'm going to pour this in here like this. Go all the way to the top. Okay, four.
This is one of your kids, right? Isn't Ira on your team? Is Ira on your team? You're sweating. All right, so I'm gonna start. So this is, I don't know. I think I'm staying on something. I mean, if you think about it, like this table right here.
Yeah, that's about a good length.
Yeah. So, okay. So we are going to, on Monday, get in groups of 3, maybe 4. Okay. I liked our groups before, but each group is going to have like container number 1, container number 2, container number 3. Okay. And each one of you are going to grow different amounts of algae, and we're going to measure the growth rates of those algae. Okay. So you're going to get these things, and I'm very excited about it. Okay. Any question? Okay. Look, we got like, I don't know how much time left. Just stay in your seats. Okay. That's all I'm asking. Yes. You may go do that. Yes. You can, I will let you go at like, they're taking a test right now. I don't want to interrupt that. Okay. So,